Dinosaurs, creatures that are the symbols for massive, untamed power. They've been adapted on many occasions. From Digimon to Pokemon, the examples are endless. Dinosaurs are definitely no stranger to the Power Rangers franchise though. We've seen the power of the dinos be called upon from the Fox era all the way through the Neo Spawn era, but there's never before been a dinosaur man trying to turn everybody into dinos. Nevertheless, it's about time that I shine a spotlight on the season that I think a lot of y'all have been waiting for me to talk about. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Power Rangers Dino Thunder.
You're now watching the Captain.
So let's set the scene. It's 2004, Power Rangers franchise has already been around for more than a decade, and then comes Dino Thunder. It wasn't just a throwback to the Mighty Morphin era where they used dinosaurs in their original stuff, but it was a season that brought the legendary Tommy Oliver, played by iconic Jason David Frank, back into the fold.
It really hasn't changed me. I mean, I just get recognized now, by kids and stuff. It's great to be able to be a positive role model on kids.
I mentioned how influential he was in the first video, but I want to double down and express just how much of a beloved legend this man was.
Just thinking about Jason a lot, and I hope you guys are okay. I know how much you all meant.
He was a part of several seasons as different Rangers, and is arguably the favorite Ranger for most fans. A character who was only supposed to be around for 10 episodes left such an impact on fans that when he was at the end of the arc left with no powers, kids lost their minds. They petitioned, some wouldn't go to school, and a lot of other ones wouldn't even eat because they felt so bad. These were ridiculous levels of aura that not too many people to walk this planet ever had, to be honest with you. So before I continue with the discussion of the season, I feel like it's only right to have a moment of silence for the GOAT, Jason David Frank. Thank you.
It's important for the kids to look up to someone, and that's, us for now.
So let's break down the key players in this season. You have Connor, your typical jock turned Red Ranger, who grew a lot as a leader throughout the season. Kira, the rocker girl, and the Yellow Ranger, who balanced toughness with compassion. And my guy Ethan, the tech genius Blue Ranger, who's breaking the mold of what a nerdy character could be in a pretty much cool way to me. This season shares a lot of the same amazing qualities that made Ninja Storm and SPD amazing. First and foremost, the personal growth of each character on the team. These three Rangers have dreams and aspirations that are put on the back burner while they're Rangers. It gives me nostalgic thoughts about popular teen heroes like Spider-Man, heroes who are talented and have passions for different things like music or sports or tech, but their responsibility as heroes will always take top priority. And it's a lesson that Connor himself had to learn specifically early on in the series. He probably had the biggest growth out of most of the Rangers that I've seen up to this point, period. Connor was, at least in my opinion, objectively an asshole. Like, there's no doubt in that. When he came out onto the team, he was consistently putting down Kira and Ethan, and just like on multiple occasions, he wouldn't even like call Kira by her name. Or he would just like blatantly make fun of Ethan for being a nerd, like in a really harsh way. It was pretty bad. But obviously, throughout the season, he grew past that and got along with the teammates, and it became a pretty solid leader. Kira Ford, though, is one of my favorite absolute Rangers that I've ever seen on screen. Funny enough, it had nothing to do with her being a Ranger and like the kicks she would do. Look, by now you are aware that I love music. So when you give me multiple instances where Kira has musical performances where she absolutely kills it, well, you have my attention, but now you have my curiosity. All jokes aside, Kira is definitely one of those ones when you talk about all-time Rangers that you need to discuss. Ethan is probably a Ranger that I relate to the most personally. Growing up, I was Ethan. Hell, I still am to an extent. The funny, black, nerdy, quirky guy who seemed to be able to get along with anyone and was usually the bit of comic relief throughout the season. His being the Blue Ranger just felt like a perfect love that fit, and my man definitely oozed the sauce. He had it coming out his pores, man. Love that dude. These Rangers, besides having the best design uniforms out of the three I've covered so far, have a very unique honor of being mentored by the legendary character Tommy Oliver. He guides them from the perspective of being an original Ranger himself, who's had his fair share of rodeos with the Power Morphin Grid and all the things that come with that. The Rangers in this season are definitely some of the strongest ever. They were all given dino powers that could give them the strength to take on their enemies without even utilizing a Morphin Grid. All three of them seem to have a form of enhanced strength, but in addition, their DNA cultivated unique abilities for them each. Connor gets the power of super speed, Kira gets a sonic scream, and Ethan gets this weird, near indestructible stone skin. It was dope to see that the Rangers, like their predecessors in this era, were capable with or without their morphers. Oh, and about the morphers, by the way, they are my favorite ones, period, thus far. I love how when they aren't in use, they're these cool metallic, like silver wristbands with dino gems in them. It makes sure that they can always keep them on with them and walk around so regular people won't question why you're walking around with a Power Ranger morpher. The morphers even can change throughout the season due to there being different dino eggs that hatch. These dinosaurs that hatch help to keep the show fresh by constantly providing upgrades for the Rangers to use in their actual Ranger forms or their Megazord in general. Now it's about that time to discuss my favorite aspect of Power Ranger season. Everyone loves the DLC Rangers. This season features 2 additional Rangers. 2 of the most unique, best designed Rangers to ever exist in my opinion. For starters, there's the OG Dr. Tommy Oliver. His becoming the Black Bronchiosaurus Ranger was a wet dream for most Mighty Morphin fans who watched the series. He is essentially the foundation of this Ranger team because he not only has a staff that is strong enough to fight some of the kaiju-sized enemies without a Zord, just straight up, but he even has a Zord that stores all the other Zords within it. So he's literally the foundation of this team where he can help prop everyone else up as he goes along as a mentor. I've spoken a lot about Tommy up until this point, so it's about time to switch gears and let's talk about the White Drago Ranger. Before talking about the Ranger though, we must discuss the man behind the helmet, Trent. Trent is an interesting character. He's the son of the main villain of the series, Mesogog, but isn't aware of it. He has this sense of a pure soul to me that is not only punctuated by him being an artist who makes cute doodles and superhero characters, but he just has a pure, kind soul. Having this pure perception makes it all more interesting when the White Thunder arc begins, because in this arc, Trent accidentally discovers the White Dino Gem while he's walking around his house and gets into the lab. But being the White Ranger, there's a little twist where he's a villain now, very similar to the original Green Ranger arc that Tommy himself had to go through. He shows up on the scene with the badass aura that Tommy originally had and takes on, in multiple occasions, all of the Rangers at one time. Dude was doing them so dirty in a wide array of moves, showcasing his arsenal. He walked around with a dragon blade that looked badass, but it was not only a blade, but it doubled like a paintbrush essentially, where he could create these light arrows that he would launch at the Rangers that kind of just throw them off guard, just take them out with a quickness. Additionally, he uses super speed that almost seems to be faster than Connor's super speed, because he rapidly takes out the Rangers in multiple occasions by himself at one time. He thoroughly asserted his dominance, like on some Shaquille O'Neal type stuff, not only being a menace to the Rangers, but also to Mesogog and his forces. He was literally evil incarnate, and the Dino Gem was corrupted to create this Ranger with the demeanor of a Kenpachi Zaraki from Bleach, which makes him arguably the most dangerous Ranger on the show. At the very least, he was the character with the most drip. Look at this uniform, dude looks sick.
This isn't even a challenge. Take a hike before you really get hurt.
Not a chance!
We're not leaving without that egg.
We can stay here and fight, but I thought you'd want to save the city.
Probably some of the top 3 Ranger designs that I've seen thus far. I keep changing it up from season to season, but he's definitely up there. Now let's talk crossovers, people. Crossover episodes are like the Super Bowl of the Power Rangers universe, right? You've got your old school favorites teaming up with the new squad. For Dino Thunder, we've got an epic Thunderstorm 2-parter that saw the Dino Rangers go head-to-head with the Ninja Storm team. Yeah, the Ninja Storm Rangers were fresh off their own series, and seeing the 2 teams collide was like a dream come true for fans. The premise was the classic Power Rangers misunderstanding. Mind you, I get really confused and stuff like this because if I'm a Ranger and I see somebody else that looks like a Ranger, I'd assume they're on my team, but I digress. Both teams at some point realized they're fighting for the same side, but what really stood out was the dynamic between the Rangers. The Dino Thunder crew was more serious and focused in tone, while the Ninja Storm team kind of was the other side of the coin, being more laid back, and they had different energy matching their interactions. Pretty fun to watch, I gotta admit. The choreography in these episodes was on point. You could tell the stunt team went all out to make these battles feel huge and grand, and that's what we love about the crossovers. The stakes always felt higher and the villains were usually tougher. We had to see the Rangers push themselves to the limit, and then obviously you have the fan service. You know what I'm talking about. Seeing all those different Rangers together on screen morphing one after another, it was like being a big kid in a candy store seeing a big rainbow go across a badassery. It was dope for me to see it. I enjoyed it. I loved it very thoroughly. Well, y'all, I hope this video was worth the wait. I've been working on some other content to diversify my content all around. So I hope that people can give me some grace in the length that these things take to get out. I'm watching the whole season anyway as well to kind of refresh my mind on these. I'm not just making these videos off the cuff. I'm really going through and watching all 38 episodes of these shows. But again, I love Power Rangers to a tremendous extent still, and I plan on finishing out the neglected era of the Disney era altogether. I'll make another post on the community tab if you guys haven't gone to check that out yet, kind of asking and polling for what season you guys want to see next. Obviously, Dino Thunder won this one out, so we'll probably see between Jungle Fury and Mystic Force next on what people want to see out of this neglected era series. Again, if you guys have not done so, please feel free to check out the Discord. I have a link to that in the comments below. I essentially do some watch alongs over there. I try to have some play alongs and kind of just working to build a community of people that are dope all together. So if you're following me from the Power Ranger stuff, or you're following me from any other content I do, please take some time, join the community, chat it up with your boy. I'm around, I be in there all the time. I have perfect new people in there that are also dope. Shout out to my guy No Lash. Dude does a lot of dope stuff as well as being around the community and engaging with me on my streams as well. Because if you don't know, I stream. I try to make sure that I'm streaming a couple times throughout the week. This October though, you'll guys be seeing me stream a lot of horror stuff. Big game I'm planning on playing through is the casting of Frank Stone. If you aren't aware what that is, I'm not super aware. I'm from what the looks that I've seen of it, it looks like it's going to be something very akin to like an Until Dawn. So again, if you guys are interested in any of that content or just being a part of the community all around, please hit the comment below or hit the description below, hit that button, join through the Discord, or just, get involved all together. Again, this has been Captain Diesel of Captain Diesel's Dojo. I know I've rambled a little bit here at the end, but again, thank y'all so much for watching it. If you support me anytime up until this point or after, I appreciate it, and I can't thank you guys enough. Again, this has been Captain Diesel. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.